Here is the real reason why accidentals confuse so many music makers. Most people think they understand accidentals, but the truth is they don't really know the rules for using sharps and flats. So they do what everyone does. They guess. And when you guess accidentals, the music you play can go so wrong. Today, I'm going to fix that with 3 pieces that I am 100% sure you know. Number 1. This is Bach, Toccata and Fugue in D minor. Now here's the question. How should we write the accidentals in this piece? We hear 2 black notes in this excerpt, so we know there must be accidentals. But which ones? Would you write them like this or like this? Listen again. This piece is in D minor, so we have 1 flat in the key signature, B flat. But that doesn't mean that everything must be written with flats. A lot of people think that, but this is not how music works. Accidentals are chosen so the music makes sense when you read it. Look at this first note here. Should it be D flat or C sharp? They sound the same, but they don't behave in the same way in music. Not at all. In D minor, C sharp pulls strongly towards D. It is a very powerful note. Listen. Intense. You can hear the tension, and harmonically makes sense because C sharp is the leading note in D minor. So the correct spelling is C sharp. We've just seen something really interesting. The same sound can be written in 2 different ways, and each of them has a different function or no function at all. And this is where most people get confused. A good accidental is the one that makes the music easier to understand and makes sense in the key, not the one that simply matches the key you play, or the easier one to use. This sharp is called temporary accidental. That simply means that it lasts until the end of the bar. After that, everything goes back to normal. If you'd like to practice spotting accidentals like that, I've made a free PDF for you to download. It includes examples, a quiz, tips, shortcuts, and all you need. It's free to download, the link is below. Now, in the second bar of this piece, we play C sharp again. In the score, Bach writes a sharp symbol again. That's because a temporary accidental, as we said before, lasts until the end of the bar. And if you want it again, you have to write it again. But imagine something different for a moment. Imagine that Bach wanted that C to be natural. Now you might wonder, why do we need a natural sign here? Didn't the bar line cancel that sharp already? Good question. The answer is yes. But this is what we would call a courtesy accidental. It's an accidental that is not strictly necessary, but we add it to help the performer read the notes quickly and avoid mistakes. In other words, it's simply a helpful reminder. Number 2, let's listen to another famous piece of music, and this time you can test what we've talked about. This is Für Elise by Beethoven, one of the most famous pieces in the world. It is in A minor, so we have no key signature. So how should we write the accidentals here? First, the piece starts with an upbeat, meaning that the first 2 notes are separate from the rest of the bar. Here we definitely need a sharp. Then we move to the next bar, and here we need another sharp, because we are in a new bar and the previous one no longer applies after the bar line. So here's the sharp again. Now let's look at the last part. Here the last D is not sharp anymore, so we need a natural symbol. That's really important, otherwise the piece would sound like this. Not really how we know it, isn't it? Did you guess it right? Let me know it in the comments. If you want to revise key signatures, you can get my ebook in which you find everything you need to know all in one book with examples, tips, shortcuts, and a quiz to revise your knowledge. The link is below. Number 3. Finally, let's look at something really fast, but also very famous. This is the Flight of Bumblebee by Rimsky-Korsakov. Did you know it? Earlier, I said that composers choose accidentals very carefully, and this piece shows us exactly why. If accidentals were chosen randomly, this is how the piece would look like. And honestly, I wouldn't know where to start to read. But this is how the music is actually written. Yes, there are many accidentals, but the patterns are really clear and manageable to read. This passage is an example of chromatic writing, where the notes move a semitone at a time. Good notation helps players see patterns quickly, even at a high speed. So now you can see why accidentals confuse many music makers. They are not random symbols. They help us understand how music fits within the key, where the melody is going, how the music should be read clearly. Once you start thinking about accidentals in this way, something really exciting happens. You stop guessing and you start understanding them. If you'd like to practice accidentals, get this PDF in which you can have examples, tips, shortcuts, explanations, and a quiz to revise your knowledge. The link is below. And if you're preparing for a Grade 5 Theory exam, don't miss my Fast Track to Grade 5 Theory course. Day by day, you understand everything about music theory and your playing will be amazing. This course will prepare you for an exam in weeks, not in months, and will make you save lots of money. I leave the link below as well. And now before you go, tell me this thing. Did you guess the accidentals in Für Elise correctly? I'm very curious about it.